Okay, hi, welcome back to a reading vlog. So I haven't vlogged in a long time because I also kind of took a break on my YouTube channel because school was tough and I didn't have time to edit the video. Oh my god, the video that I finished editing yesterday was the K-drama one, the best K-dramas of 2021. I filmed it in February around Chinese New Year period, and then it's April already, so it took me like 2+ months to edit it because school was tough, school was insane, and also my computer is being a piece of shit. It's taking so long to load and it's very laggy when I try to edit it. But yeah, I'm glad that the video came out. I hope you watched it. If not, you can go watch it there. So today's reading vlog is actually, I was already reading a few books, and it turned out that 3 of the books that I want to read this month are set in academic settings, which I realized is something that I like in the books that I read. So examples of academic setting books that I have enjoyed, actually it's kind of mixed because some of them I really enjoyed and some of them I just didn't enjoy. There's a list on Goodreads which I'm using to reference it to, so I'll leave a link to the whole list for you to look at. So for example, The Secret History, I hated it because I didn't get the point of the story, and I just felt that the characters were fine, they were all terrible people, and the plot was fine, so everything I was just like, The other ones that I have read are The Maidens. I also didn't enjoy that one because it was a thriller, and it was a very mediocre thriller to me, even though it was set in an academic setting. So nothing against the fact that it was in an academic setting, more of the fact that I didn't enjoy the story, the plot itself. Ace of Spades, I actually really liked that it was in an academic setting. It contributed a lot to the story. It's just that the plot kind of faded a bit towards the end, but it was a very strong like start and middle, I would say. And my absolute favorite, The Love Hypothesis, oh my gosh, I give it 5 stars. I keep talking about it, and it's not on this list, but I would say A Brush with Love is also set in an academic setting. The one that I recently read, it's on my Instagram if you want to check it out. It's linked down below. I think I left a review on it. But in short, I really liked learning about all the academic stuff because that one was set in a dental school. One of them was a graduate student, about to graduate already, I don't know, something like that, and another one was like a freshman, and they were both in this dental school. Then they were discussing all the things there, and I just felt very educated. Yeah. And another one is Fangirl. I really liked that it was in a university setting as well. So there's like a very mixed bag, but I still like that it's set in academic setting. So the line is that it depends on the plot, but I really like it when books are set in academic settings, which is why we are reading these books. So the first book that I would like to introduce you to is Vicious by Ve Schwab. This story, I mean, I think a lot of people know about this story already, but okay, I have actually read until page 150. It's about here. This is the start. So if you are wondering why there are different tabs, right, because this one is like when I tap the book, and this one is like the point to mark my buddy read with my friend Nicole. I still have quite a bit more to go because I stupidly thought that there were only 36 chapters, but I didn't realize that there were 2 parts, so we have to make up for it this week. I still have this much more. Okay, so Vicious, if you didn't know, it's about Victor and Eli, who started out as college roommates. They both kind of share this interest. It started with Eli actually. Eli has this interest in EOs, also known as extraordinary. It's about supernatural or extraordinary abilities. Basically, people can develop these kind of abilities if they experience near-death experiences. Eli was working on that for his thesis, and Victor got interested and tried to help him with it. But when they try to actually experiment on themselves, then that's when things go horribly wrong. 10 years later, Victor breaks out of prison, determined to catch up to his old friend, who is now his enemy, and he's aided by a young girl named Sydney. It's alternating between different points in time. So for example, we have 10 years ago at Lachlan University, then we have 2 days ago at some cemetery, or 1 year ago. And it's very interesting because again, I really like the academic setting, the discussions of all that, and also how we have this stance between Victor and Eli. And also we have reached the point in a book where I'm trying not to spoil anything, but it's a discussion between good and evil, I would say, with these extraordinary abilities, and who gets to determine which EO stays, which EO doesn't get to stay, that kind of discussion. Yeah, it's just very good, and I'm very excited to continue reading it. So this is my first update for Vicious after 150 pages. The next book, I have gotten quite a bit through actually. I'm only left with about 100 pages, I would say. So the next book is They Never Learn by Fargo. So I got this from the library and it's super interesting. Oh my god, this one is about Scarlett Clark, who is an English professor. She is actually a serial killer. Every year she searches for the worst man at Gorman University and kills him. So their crimes are basically, for example, rape or like assault or harassment, some form of crime, and they don't get punished by the law, which is why she thinks that she needs to step in and get rid of these guys. She has killed a lot of people, but this year she's preparing for her biggest kill, and that's when the school actually starts to pay attention to all these deaths, although they have been disguised as suicide or accidents. But something is strange because of the number of deaths, I would believe, in the campus also, not just the ones that she has killed. So they have formed this investigation team. On one hand, make students have the help that they need, so for example helplines or counseling sessions, but also at the same time they are investigating the deaths, what kind of reasons behind their deaths, so that they can try to prevent it. And so the head of the team is Dr. Mina Pierce. Dr. Clark is trying to prepare for this kill but also avoid the eyes of the team and the police in a sense. In the meantime, we have another point of view which we follow Carly Schiller, who is just trying to survive her freshman year. So she is finally free of her emotionally abusive father, and all she wants to do is focus on her studies and fade into the background. But her roommate Alison Hadley is cool and confident, everything Carly wishes she could be. Then when they form a friendship, Carly actually starts to fall for her. So there is bisexual representation because Carly is bi. I don't want to say anymore because it might become spoilery. So this one is definitely set in an academic setting, like both points of view are in universities, and it's very, very interesting. And I have never read a plot like this before, although I'm sure that there are other books out there. This is just the first one that I've encountered upon, and it's just so interesting. I like how there is this whole discussion about the guys that commit crimes but can get away with it, and it's just so unfair, right? Okay, I'm gonna talk a bit about like spoilery parts already because I'm this far in. I'm 228 pages in, so yeah, I'm gonna put a spoiler word there. Basically, in Carly's point of view, right, so her roommate Alison gets sexually assaulted at a party. It's also written on the flap actually, so it might not be a spoiler, but it's quite towards the middle of the book, so I would say if you don't want to know anything, it's considered a spoiler. So Carly witnesses Alison getting sexually assaulted at the party, and so she manages to stop things from progressing further, but Alison doesn't want to report it to the police because when they went to the hospital to get her concussion checked out, right, because she also hit her head, the doctor was being very unhelpful and just questioning them because they were students on Halloween, so they were dressed in costumes and everything. So he was saying, do you want a rape kit? And then Alison was saying no. It's just very questioning the victim because the doctor was asking her whether she was drinking, and then she was drinking, and then Carly was like, oh, I think this guy drugged her. And then the doctor was like talking to Alison and saying, I can't help you if you lie to me. And then Alison was like, I didn't take anything. It's like mocking her in a sense, which is not what you should be doing. There's one adult that has failed them already. Then another one is when they went to the dean to try to report it because Alison didn't want to go to the police because she thinks that there's no evidence, so it's like nothing can be done. But Carly finds out that you can actually go to the dean's office and talk to the dean, and they will form an investigation team which will not involve the police. So they go to the dean, but the dean, who is also a woman, I was expecting the dean to do so much better, but apparently not, because everybody is shit in this freaking school. So the dean was like saying because there's no evidence, so it's like she was saying, oh, it's such a lucky thing for you because nothing happened, nothing further happened, and this can be a learning lesson for you not to accept drinks from other people, from strangers, even though the guy was a person that she knew. Then the dean was like, yeah, so just treat this as a learning lesson. And I was just so angry for them. Oh my god, at the dean also. It's very, very interesting, and I'm very excited to finish it. So I'll give more updates on both of the books later when I get further into them. So the last book for this one is actually an audiobook, so I'll put the picture here. It is actually In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. So I heard about this book a lot in booktube, so I'm very excited to finally read this. So it's about 6 friends, 1 college reunion and 1 unsolved murder. A college reunion turns dark and deadly in this chilling and propulsive suspense murder novel, One Unsolved Murder, and the dark secrets they've been hiding from each other and themselves for a decade. 10 years after graduation, Jessica Miller has planned her triumphant return to Southern elite Duquesne University, down to the envious whispers that are sure to follow in her wake. She is not the girl she was when she left campus, back when Heather's murder fractured everything, including the tight bond linking 6 friends she had been closest to since freshman year. But not everyone can let Heather's murder go unsolved, so someone is determined to trap the real killer, and when they reunite, they will be forced to confront what happened that night. It's like a thriller mystery, which I'm very excited to get to. So yeah, I'll just update you when I have more updates. So a few hours have passed. I've actually finished They Never Learn. I think I filmed that time lapse for you to see, right? So that was the last, I would say, 50 or so pages, and in the end I gave it 4.5 stars after running it through Corpal, which is the rating system created by G from Book Rose. I will link her video for the latest one in the description box below. I really enjoyed it, and although the twists, I could see where the story was going towards the end. I predicted some of it, which is why I can't tell if you can see from the time lapse when I will look at the camera and be like you know, that kind of thing. I didn't give it the full 5 stars because I'm not sure how I felt about the ending, because I don't know what kind of message it will send to the readers in a sense. I really enjoyed the story as a whole, which is why I gave it 4.5 stars. It's definitely one of my favorite thrillers that I've read in a while, despite the twists not being very shocking, because I really enjoyed the book as a whole. I really enjoyed my reading experience reading this. Also, the queer representation, I felt that it was very well done also, because it was very well incorporated. It was just a part of the characters' lives. You know, some books, when you read that there's queer representation, it just feels like the author put it there for the sake of having representation, but it doesn't feel very well incorporated in a sense. But I didn't feel that way for this at all. It was just very natural, and I was just very happy with it. And also, I liked seeing how Scarlett slowly unraveled towards the end, and as the story came to a close, and I just really enjoyed this. Oh my god, that's most of the progress I've made, but I just wanted to share how my day went, because I just finished my last Korean mod for this sem. Currently it's week 13. Yeah, week 13, and I have taken Korean language module since the first year I entered university, so I'm in year 3 now. So every semester I took one Korean mod, so I took 6 Korean mods. This one was the 6th one, and we just finished it. So today's lesson we had to present on our group project. We had to present in Korean and about a certain topic that we chose. So we actually had a few weeks to do the script and everything, and the teacher would grade it and then give us feedback on how we can make our script more fluent. And so we presented our stuff today, and it was very interesting to see the other groups present and actually present in Korean, because all along for our group project, every Korean mod has a group project, all along for our group projects we mostly did skits. So this was the first time that we actually had to present in formal Korean presentation style. So it's all the formal honorific stuff, and it's just the normal presentation in English but in Korean, you know. So my group is just me and another girl. Our topic was TikTok trends as well as the impacts of TikTok. It was very fun, and I was very happy when I finished, even though I stumbled a bit here and there, because it feels like all the hard work has come to a closure in a sense after 6 semesters of Korean. Not just Korean, because I take other mods also, but it's like, I don't know, this chapter has closed in my life, and it's just very interesting. A lot of mixed feelings, because the bell curve for Korean language has always been very difficult, because everybody in the class is so good at Korean, you know. And I just checked my final results, and it was kind of bad because it's below average. So I don't know what my ultimate grade will be, but it's just rewarding, because Korean language, you get a certificate after you complete, for example, complete Korean 1 and 2, then you get a basic certificate, then 3 and 4 you get an intermediate. So now 5 and 6, I assume it's advanced, but I'm not very sure about that. But yeah, so that was that. And also other life updates, because this is a vlog. I kind of got a new laptop and a new phone. Like, okay, so this is my new laptop, because Best Denki had a sale And I just decided to get it because my current laptop, which is a Dell laptop, I have had it since 2019, around June or August, around that period before I entered university. Although it's not a very long period of time, it's kind of in a bad condition now because the battery is terrible. I think the battery is spoiled or something because I got a notification saying that the battery needs to be replaced. But also because of that, I cannot bring my laptop outside without bringing my charger because it used to be able to last for at least 1.5 hours, but now it's like within an hour the battery will die. And also it's kind of slow and laggy at times, but it's still usable, which is why I'm still currently using the Dell one, but I have the Asus one now. Asus, I don't know. So for my last year of university, I shall use that. And my phone, Reno 7. My current one is just Oppo Reno, so it's been a while. I had my phone for, I would say, 3 or 4 years, and actually it's still functioning fine except for the lock button because I think it's very sensitive. So if I just hover around it, it will just lock itself. And then there was a few times where it will just keep flickering on and off, almost like I'm pressing the button on and off, but I wasn't. So that's why I wanted to get a new phone, but it wasn't really much of a rush actually. I just happened to get it because we were at the mall and it had both M1 and Best Denki. So M1 had this current promotion, so it's cheaper to get it now, so I just got it now. And that's why I went shopping on Shopee for the first time after so long, because Shopee used to provide $0 deliver to your house, that kind of thing, so I kept using it, which was why there's all the Shopee hauls, I think, on my channel also. But because they recently converted it to collection point, then it's $0. If not, you have to pay $1 per shop. If not, the cheapest is 60 cents per shop, but it's going to take a longer period of time to come to your doorstep, which was why I held off from buying on Shopee for quite a while. But because I needed a phone case, I like cute phone cases for my phone, so I decided to just shop now. And also there's free shipping voucher, and one of the shops, I wanted to get badges also for my bag, so that shop had $0 shipping, so I decided to quickly get that along with my phone case. I just placed the order just now. So that was a few updates that I had regarding my life currently. So I'll update when I make more progress on Vicious. Hi, it's been a few days since the previous clip. I filmed a few B-rolls in between. It's been a few days since then already, and I have been reading Vicious, so I have finished this week's part for the buddy read already. I am currently at page 251. I'm left with this much, and the number of tabs have increased since then. So my thoughts on the book so far, I really like the morally grey characters in this story. I really love the writing and the plot also, and again the academic setting really helped make me enjoy it better, although the main focus is not on the academic setting already because years have passed since, so I read you the synopsis, so years have passed since when they were in university, right? So the academic setting is the main focus already, but I still really like the whole discussions about EOs and everything because it's academic, so you have to deduce who will be an EO, that kind of thing. So it's like still kind of in tune with what I like as well. And also the fact that Eli has all these cognitive dissonance in cognitive psychology, like I learned this. Do I remember it? Not really. But yeah, so I think it's very interesting to see him portray himself as, I just put a spoiler screen there. Okay, so basically it's very interesting to see him portray himself as a good person even though he is an EO. So he believes that God made him an EO for a purpose, and that purpose is to eradicate all the other EOs because apparently their powers are very destructive, unnatural, and just not good for humankind. But his own power, which is healing, right, he cannot harm anybody else with it, so he believes that he is a better EO, so he has this responsibility to kill all the other EOs. And the fact that even though his power is not destructive, but he doesn't need his power to destroy other people even though they're EOs and stuff, he believes that EOs are deserve to die in a sense because they have already kind of died because of that near-death experience thing, right? And the fact that he keeps saying, oh, if God doesn't want me to do this, then he would have stopped me, he would have not given me this power, that kind of thing. I wouldn't have been able to continue to regenerate and heal myself. But every time that his power works, he believes that, oh, that's because what I'm doing is right and I can continue to do it, that kind of thing. I thought that Victor was a better character, but also at the same time he's morally grey, so he's definitely better than Eli, but he's not exactly the purest character also. So I really like how this book has so many morally great characters, and my favorite character so far is, I think, Mitch, because I don't know, he's just so funny, and I feel so sad that because he's apparently very big sized and he has a lot of tattoos and stuff, so people just automatically assume that he was the one who did all the bad things and automatically assume that he's a criminal, even though he's very smart and he's so much more than his body and the stereotypes that people place on him. He's very funny and very cheerful. I mean, he is also a morally great character. Is there even a character that is not morally great in this book? But yeah, I really love it so far. I don't know, I don't think I'll give it 5 stars because there's not that feeling for me, but I hope Vengeful will make me want to give it 5 stars. Should I wait until I read both? But I don't know, we'll see how. So yeah, not much left of this book already, and I was stupid because I went to read reviews on Goodreads for Vicious, and people were saying that there's a cliffhanger at the back of this, so I know that there's a cliffhanger already, so it's kind of like a spoiler, but okay. I have also started reading In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I'm currently at chapter 8, so I'll put the cover here. So far it's still okay for me because I think we are still at the beginning. Things haven't started to pick up yet. Basically we follow Jessica Miller, right? We see her in university as this person that isn't very popular among all the girls in college, and there's this whole thing about sororities and trying to get into the best sorority, and also how she insists on studying in Duquesne University even though she doesn't have the money for it, and because all the students, most of them are very rich, and so they have these extravagant lifestyles, and she's trying to fit in, so she is struggling also to be accepted and, I don't know, blend in and maybe even shine among the rest because there's so many people there who are so glamorous and stuff. But we haven't reached the point of the murder yet, so I don't really have much things to say, although I really hope this is a good book. The academic setting, so far I think it's just okay. It's maybe because I'm still in the early stages of the book, 24%, maybe towards the middle, I feel like it's starting to get better. So those are the 2 books so far. I have also currently picked up another book, so I think this vlog is not just academic books anymore because we have now progressed into is 24 in 48 readathon. So basically this month, April, I'm participating in bloom-a-thon, which is hosted by throneofpages. I'm in the Discord channel and everything. One of the prompts is to participate in a 24-hour readathon, and she is hosting this 24-hour readathon from the midnight of 16 April to midnight of 18 April, if I remember correctly. And so I'm planning to just make use of this time and read as many books as I can because the TBR for April is a lot for me. One of the books that I've started picking up is Warcross over here, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So basically this book is about this game called Warcross, and it's invented by Hideo Tanaka. Because of his invention, the whole world has become absorbed within Warcross. Everybody is playing it, and it's become the biggest thing in the world basically. So far I'm still in the early stages. I'm at page 40, and we follow Emika Chen, who works as a bounty hunter who tracks down Warcross players who bet on the game illegally, because that's the easiest way to get a lot of money at once, because she's struggling to pay for her rent, pay for her bills in I believe, New York City. Where I am in the book, right, they are currently in this Warcross opening ceremony, and the 2 final teams have started to play the game. So yeah, it's very interesting. It reminds me of Ready Player One because of the game setting, the sci-fi setting. I was just very hooked from the start, and I was looking at the pages, just skimming through, right, and there's text messages also. So it's a bit of mixed media, kind of. So yeah, looking forward to reading more of this. And okay, final update for this clip is that I have some bookmail to show you because Times Reads contacted me and asked if I would like to be a reviewer for them. So I review their books, as in, so they mail me the books in exchange for reviews. So it arrived this morning, late morning, and so to show you the books, right? So the first one is The Impossible Us by Sarah Lotz. And this is kind of like a sci-fi romance, if I remember correctly. I have never heard of this book before. Let me read you the blurb. So Bee thinks she has everything: a successful business, repurposing wedding dresses, friends who love and support her. She's given up on finding love, but that's fine, there's always Tinder. Nick thinks he has nothing. His writing career has stalled after early promise, and his marriage is on the rocks, but that's fine, there's always Jin. So when one of Nick's emails, a viciously funny script intended for a non-paying client, accidentally pings into B's inbox, they decide to keep the conversation going. After all, they never have to meet. But the more they get to know each other, the more B and Nick realize they want to. They both notice strange pop culture and political references that crop up in their correspondence, but nothing odd enough to stop B and Nick from falling hard for each other. When their efforts to meet in real life fail spectacularly, B and Nick discover that they're actually living in near identical but parallel worlds. With a universe between them, B and Nick will discover how far they'll go to beat impossible odds. Oh, I am suddenly very intrigued. Oh my gosh. And this one has mixed media also. So you see, I think these are the email correspondences, and it's split into parts like that. Oh my god, I'm very interested now. And I love how floppy this book is. Oh my god. Okay, so this was the first book. The next one is an uncorrected proof copy. This one is Good Intentions by Kasim Ali. So you can see the cover like that. Yeah, it was published in March 2022. As Nur's family count down to midnight on New Year's Eve, Nur is watching the clock more closely than most. He has made a pact with himself and with his girlfriend Yasmina that at midnight he will finally tell his Pakistani parents the truth. He has been in a relationship with a woman he loves deeply, but has not been honest with them about because she is black. Nur wants to be the good son his parents ask him to be and the good partner Yasmina needs him to be. But as everything he holds dear is challenged, he is forced to ask, is love really a choice for a second generation immigrant son like him? Oh, okay. I think this is gonna have a lot of discussions about race, romance also. Oh, okay. Interesting. I also haven't heard about this before. The next one I have heard about, but I have heard bad reviews for, so I'm a bit scared to go into this. But this is Cherish Pharah by Bethany C. Morrow. I know Bethany C. Morrow. She wrote a song Below Water, which I wasn't interested in, but I have heard people liked it, I think, because I'm not interested in it because it was magical realism and it's something that I tend to not enjoy. 17-year-old Farah Turner is one of 2 black girls in her country club community and the only one with black parents. Her best friend Cherish Whitman, adopted by a white wealthy family, is something Farah likes to call WGS, white girl spoiled. With Brienne and Jerry Whitman as parents, Cherish is given the kind of adoration and coddling that even upper-class black parents can't seem to afford, and it creates a dissonance in her best friend that Farah can exploit. When her own family is unexpectedly confronted with foreclosure, the calculating Farah is determined to reassert the control she's convinced she's always had over her life by staying with Cherish, the only person she loves, even when she hates her. As troubled Farah manipulates her way further into the Whitman family, the longer she stays, the more her own parents suggest that something is wrong in the Whitman house. She might trust them if they didn't think something was wrong with Farah too. When strange things start happening at the Whitman household, debilitating illnesses, upsetting fever dreams, and inexplicable tension with Cherish's hot-headed boyfriend, and a mysterious journal that seems to keep track of what is happening to Farah, is nothing she can't handle. But soon everything begins to unravel when the Whitmans invite Farah closer and it's anyone's guess who is really in control. Okay, so this is definitely a searing commentary on race and class, and it's a slow burn social horror. I don't know why this book has such bad reviews, because I just saw the reviews and I was like, okay, the ratings on Goodreads, but I'm intrigued enough to want to read it, and it's also super fluffy. Oh my gosh, I love floppy books. Next, the book that got me the most excited when I saw it is This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi, who wrote the Shatter Me series. So this one is a fantasy. To all the world, Eliza is a disposable servant, not the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom forced to hide in plain sight. The crown prince Kamran has heard the prophecies foretelling the death of his king, but he could never have imagined that the servant girl with the strange eyes, the girl he can't put out of his mind, would one day uproot his kingdom and the world. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I've seen a lot of people reading this. I think the reviews are that it's good, and it is quite big, quite thick. It is 495 pages, almost 500. Very excited to read this. This is the first book in the series, and I know this ends on a cliffhanger, but I'm kind of wanting to just read it first. Next is the last book, also is the book that I have already read and I sadly didn't enjoy. So this one is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. So this one is about this apartment block. So basically we follow Jess. I can't remember for what reason, but she comes to stay at her brother's house in this apartment in Paris. Her brother is called Ben, but when she arrives, she realizes that Ben has gone missing. It seems that he has just recently gone missing, so she's trying to find out what happened to her brother. She comes to find that everybody in the apartment is kind of weird. You can't really trust them. I gave this 1.5 stars because I listened to this via the audiobook, and I believe I read the ebook also, but it wasn't grabbing my attention, and the characters, none of them stood out to me. So they were all quite bland in my opinion, and I think for the most of the book nothing happened until to the last maybe 20%. Then things started to pick up, and then everything started to get reviewed, but it wasn't a build up in a sense. To me it felt like it was just nothing for the 80%, and then things just happened for the last 20%, which was why I give it 1.5 stars. I'm not sure if it's just the fact that Lucy Foley might not be for me, because I read The Hunting Party and I also didn't like that. The only book that I haven't read from her is The Guest List. I'm not sure if she has other books, but that's the one book that I haven't gotten to yet. This might just not be for me, but I've also seen people reviewing the book and saying that it wasn't good for them also, so I'm not very sure. But okay, this one is a finalized copy, or a final copy. I'm gonna check again, but if it's a final copy, I'm going to give it to my friend because she is intrigued in this. Okay, so that's the end of my updates, and my TBR has suddenly increased by a lot, so I have a lot of reading to do. Oh, I'll show you the timer. So this is the timer because we have 24 hours to read, I believe, and we can do so in 48 hours, meaning we can sleep, we can eat and everything. I have so far gotten through maybe half an hour. I'm gonna just try to get as much reading done in this 24 hours as I can. I'm gonna try not to watch any shows and just concentrate on reading. Okay, hi. I have put a pause to my note-taking over here. Not much progress. I've written only like that so far. That's for my exam next week. But anyway, back to the readathon. We are left with 20 hours and 8 minutes. So I'm not going to put a pause on it because I'm just gonna pause it for when I go to sleep. Apart from that, it's going to continue running, so that's why it's been running while I've been taking notes. And now I'm going to go out soon with my family to play table tennis, which I'm very excited about. It's like the first time that we are all going together, and also the first time we're going to that place, and also the first table tennis thing I've done in a while, in a very long while actually. So I have changed into sports attire, tied my hair, so now I'm going to pack my bag. So you can come and pack with me. The first thing I'm going to put in is my water bottle. My wallet is already inside. Oh, let me take out the medicine that I don't need anymore. I'm going to bring a towel also. I'm going to bring my table tennis bat. Should I show you? Look at the dust because it's been a while. So this is my bat, yes, and there are 2 table tennis balls here. So I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna bring a book also because because one of the prompts for the bloom-a-thon is to read outside. So I'm finally going outside, so might as well bring a book also, right? So I'm gonna put it inside. This is gonna be very heavy. Last but not least, I'm gonna bring a jacket just in case where we're going after that is a bit cold. Hello, so it is the next day. It is also the last day of the 24 in 48 hour readathon thing. I have about 8 hours and 7 minutes left, so I came with an update because I just finished In My Dreams I Hold a Knife and I gave it 2.5 stars. So this one has a lot of trigger warnings. It has trigger warnings for addiction, alcohol, drug use, eating disorder, internalized homophobia, physical violence, murder, sexual assault, and suicide. So I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because of my expectations going in, because I have heard a lot of good reviews for this book and I was very certain that it was going to be one of the better thrillers that I've read, but sadly I gave it 2.5 stars only. Not to say that it's very bad. I'm not sure whether it's just the fact that murder mysteries might not be for me, because it's kind of like a whodunit, right? To find out who actually murdered Heather 10 years ago. And I don't know, because as the book progressed, I was getting so tired of this story and I felt like whoever reviewed that they did it, I would have believed it also. And even with the final twist, I was just okay. And also towards the end, I kind of understood why the title is as such, but also I don't know, I just thought it was fine. And the academic setting, I felt like it wasn't really utilized much. There was just discussions about a fellowship and sororities, but not so much of the actual university academic life. You know, maybe I think my interest lies in that niche, which is the actual discussions of academics. So maybe in their specific field, like what they're studying, rather than the university life that people experience as their social lives and everything. So that was sadly a disappointment. I'm still going to read Vicious. I haven't touched it because the buddy read for this week, we haven't continued yet because I'm still waiting for my friend to read until that point. But Warcross, I have made some progress. I'm at page 70. Did I mention this already? But yeah, I'm on page 70. Also, yesterday we went to the garden and I took some pictures. It was nice to finally read outside for a change. And as for the story, we haven't really gotten to that part where Emika and Hideo meet yet. So it's still very much in the early stages, but I'm still very much enjoying the world that we are in with all the technology and understanding how their world works with Warcross and everything. I'm still very intrigued by that. The next audiobook I'm going to listen to is the Book of Cold Cases, so I will give you more updates. Okay, hello. I can't remember when was the last time I updated you. So yesterday I went out with my friend for lunch and we kind of walked around a little bit on the way to the MRT and it was so pretty. Oh my gosh. I don't think I filmed any videos, but I took photos, so I'm just gonna put the photos here. And it was a very fun time. Reading wise, it is a new week, so I can finally continue with Vicious. I'm going to finish it. I'm left with very few pages. I am on page 282, so just this much left. And at the back there's few pages that's not related to the story, so it's technically just like that. Again, still really enjoying it. I really love that the chapters are super short, so it helps me to read it really quickly, and I really love the audiobook also. I'm listening to it at the same time. And the next one is Warcross. So I don't think I'll be finishing this in this vlog because I want to end the vlog already. I'm on page 134. So she is actually recruited into this team called Phoenix Riders, and her task is to go undercover and try to find this person who they have called Zero, who is trying to hack into the game for some particular reason. They don't know why yet. They only know that he has distorted some of the codes in some of the games, I think, and so they want to try to catch him before he does something else entirely, because the codes that he hacked into allows him to gain information of everyone who is there, and we don't know why that person is doing it, but we shall see. It's quite interesting because now we are following Emika learning how to become a professional player and things like that, so still very much enjoying it. Maybe I am suited for YA sci-fi. So it is the last clip for this vlog already. It has stretched on for way too long. It has been a few days since my last update because I kept wanting to come back and wrap up the vlog, but I also was getting close to finishing another book, so I thought that might as well finish another book, tell you my thoughts on it, and then close out the vlog. So the 2 academic setting books I've read and reviewed so far were In My Dreams I Hold a Knife and They Never Learn. So the last one is Vicious, and I have finished it already. I finished it a few days ago actually. So these are my tabs over here. So overall, I gave it a 4.5 stars because I really enjoyed the whole plot of this and the presence of EOs, as well as the writing and the academic stuff that was included in this book. I thought everything was very nicely done. I didn't give it a full 5 stars because the ending just really set up for the next book, which was Vengeful, so I will get to that soon. I kind of deducted a bit from there, and also the EO abilities were a bit confusing to me because yes, we know their powers and what they can do, but the limits of it actually are a bit not very clear. To give an example, Eli's power is regenerative, so he's healing, right? So apparently, like, if you stick the knife in and you don't pluck it out, you cannot heal. But then also, because of this power, he doesn't age because his abilities just keep maintaining him at that age or something. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. Not just his power, everybody else's also is I'm a bit unsure about, so I like deducted 0.5. I was still a very good read. Trigger warnings for abandonment, alcohol consumption, animal death, drug use, electrocution, gun violence, medical experimentation, murder, overdose, panic attacks, self-harm, sexual assault, and suicide. So there's a lot of trigger warnings for this, but I really enjoyed this. Before I wrap up another book that I read and another reading update, I want to give away on Instagram. I'm very thankful to the person who did the giveaway. Her Instagram page is L Gilmore. I'll put a link to her page below. So basically, I won the giveaway and she tried to buy it off my wish list, but she couldn't because we're in different countries. Then she wanted to send it to my address, but she also couldn't figure it out, so she sent me a gift card. But when I tried to use the gift card, I couldn't check out because what happens is she sent it to me on the UK website, so when I claim it, I will be directed to the UK account, but because I'm in Singapore, I cannot check out. So I had to ask her to cancel that and buy another one on the Singapore website. And very, very thankful to her because she did it really, really quickly, and she wasn't, oh, like, I already gave it to you, then it's like your problem to figure it out, you know. So in the end, I managed to get something off of Amazon, and the book that I got was The Love Hypothesis. So it came very quickly, and this was on my best books of 2021 list, also my favorite romance of all time so far. I'm just very excited to have my own copy, put on my shelves. Like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this for so long. But also, I was a bit sad because you can see here it's a bit dirty, right? And apparently it was listed as new on Amazon. A bit annoyed at that. And also they put the sticker here. Oh, you put a sticker here. Oh my gosh. Very excited to one day reread this. And let me wrap up Warcross first. I haven't finished it, so I cannot really give much thoughts on the book as a whole. I'm at page 160. So almost halfway, but yeah, we're still watching Mika like learning to be part of a professional team and like facing against all these professional players because she hasn't had that experience before, and she's still trying to find who was the person that's trying to do harm to Warcross in a sense. Then the last book that I read and finished, I think I mentioned before that I was going to move into the book of cold cases, so I put the picture here. I finished it and I gave it 2.75 stars. Trigger warnings for attempted sexual assault and kidnapping as well as murder. I feel like there are a lot of trigger warnings that I have missed out, but those were the few that I managed to catch. So what is the book of cold cases about? It's a book by Simone St. James, also my first book that I've read from this author. So it is about how in 1977 there were 2 men who were brutally murdered by gunshots, and everybody believes that it's done by the lady killer who is Beth Greer, but they couldn't find concrete evidence, so she was acquitted. Fast forward to 2017 in Oregon. Shea Collins is a receptionist, but she also has a true crime website. She calls it the Book of Cold Cases, so she runs through the different cold cases on her website. This is actually fueled by the attempted abduction. She escaped as a child, so when she meets Beth by chance, she decides to ask Beth for an interview, and to her surprise, Beth agrees, and so they meet at Beth's mansion to have the interviews. But then Shea finds out that the mansion is actually a little bit haunted, so there's a paranormal and horror element in the book as well. It's my first mystery thriller with horror elements in it, and I would say that it's interesting to have in a book, but as a plot device I didn't enjoy it very well, so in the end it kind of lowered my rating of the book as a whole, because I felt that you use horror and the paranormal elements as a plot device to explain things at the end. It's a bit, I would prefer it, we find it out in our own ways, realistic ways, in the form of a thriller or a mystery being reviewed, that kind of. I gave it 2.75 stars. I feel like I'll forget about it after a while, but I'm still interested in reading more of Simone St. James' other works. So that was my last book for this vlog. I can finally end it and start to edit it, hopefully in time by next week. If you have gotten to the end, you can comment a box emoji, because this week unexpectedly there has been quite a few book mail that I managed to show you in the vlog these 2 weeks. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, but why is it dirty? Amazon, what are you doing? Oh, and I just pasted this on the back of the book. Like, what? Oh my god, I'm so disappointed. But oh my god, I'm still happy to have this. Holy shit.